JK, did it freeze? Hello?
I had to get you back, bro. I had to get you back.
This is my villain origin story.
Well, we had such a great head start. We broke, I don't know, a little quick backdrop. We broke our contract with Zoom and we switched to Skype. But as we started recording with Skype, our software just didn't want to cooperate, and the Skype, I guess, just kept messing things up. So we broke the contract with Skype, and now we're back on the Zoom. It might be a short one, but you know what they say, nice guys. You have the ending yourself. You can get it.
We got to spell it out for you. I mean, you're a free thinker. That's why you watch our show. So we know that you can figure that one out. You can crack the code. Um, Skype has some technical issues. Um, I think the satellite of theirs just went down or something like that. So they've got a good reason. But we went back to the Zoom because this is our home. We've always loved Zoom. I know that we've said some things in the past about Zoom that might cast aspersions on their character as a company, but they're like family. Zoom's like my mom or dad or something. It's like my mom and dad.
It's where we started. That's where we were born. That's the place where we're created. So we have to keep it. Maybe
I'm gonna
Zoom
die
just
on
new.
Zoom. I'm gonna die on Zoom, I think too. I was born here. I'm gonna die here.
Yeah. There was a book that was written by a Ukrainian writer, Maxim Gorky, and it was called Taras Bulba. You've heard of it,
Yes.
B-Pig?
Yes,
Oh,
dude.
excellent. Excellent. I love it already. And there was a phrase towards the end of the movie. A father was in the battle against his own son, and he pointed a gun at his son and he said, I gave you a birth and I'll give you a death. S- I wish I could par- translate it a little better, but that's what he said. So yeah,
Well, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, as they say. Um, we did an episode in the past that was at a church. Actually, we did it at the Vatican. They let us come in and do a little filming. We've always been really close with the Catholic Church, so that was a big deal for us. And Pope, shout out Pope, we love you, dude. Jingle jangle, he'll know what that means. That's like an inside joke with us and the Pope. But it was fun. So, but we're a variety show, so we do a lot of things. We do religion, we do this, that, the other thing. I mean, you know what you're watching. You're watching the evening Soothe.
the evening Soothe, baby, and
So,
you're watching it with your favorites, with your favs, JK, and uh, am
Mr.
I pointing in the
Beefcake.
right direction?
No, no, other way, other way. I think that right. I think that's right. Yes. That's right. I'm B Pig. That's right.
And we're back in the groove.
We're back in the groove of things here, back in the swing. We know you've been waiting, clamoring. Everybody's always clamoring. Our email inbox is getting us in trouble basically with the FBI, CIA, and the police because there's just so much traffic there. The Department of Motor Vehicles is having to get involved because it's a traffic jam in our inbox.
But they can't find anything because
They
there's
can't
nothing.
find anything, dude.
Because
We
there's
don't leave a
nothing.
trail.
There's nothing in there. We're clean as a baby's butt
It's like
after a diaper change, of course.
after it's been cleaned up, after all of Gerber already been digested Gerber is taken care of. But we don't want to talk like that, and we don't talk like that. we just say soothing things here. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I apologize. It's just things have been happening in my life, so it seems like my career path has crossed babies. So now I'm no more Mr. Fox Kids and just JK, but he will come back. You never know when, but he will come back. So a lot of my metaphors, a lot of my algorithms and allegories will be connected to children and little babies because that's who I'm surrounded with almost 24/7, 48 by 8 hours a week.
that's right. So it could be that's because what do you do again, JK? You you sell babies or you make babies? What is it?
Um, I make babies smart,
Oh,
or at least I tend to think so. I tell them that they don't know anything just as much as I don't know anything. And I'm trying to get to that concept, but they're already very intelligent. Some of the babies, well, I shouldn't say babies, children, because they don't like when I regard to them and address them as babies.
uh-huh.
Some children say I have a universe amount of toys at home. Oh no, infinity amount of toys at home, and I'm blown away. I didn't know what infinity was until I was in probably sixth grade, and they're 5 years old, and they already know infinity. Just very surprising and flattering, maybe. You could see the evolution, how fast the children grow and grasp the concepts of reality.
I can't believe that those kids have so many toys. They have infinity toys. We should get some of those kids on the show because we love toys. Everybody that watches us knows we usually do a toy review every episode or so, and we just can't get enough of the goddamn fucking things. So we should have one of them on sometime, and we get a little peek at some a cool somebody else's toys for once. I'd love that.
As you're talking about the toys, I started to dig through and search through my room in search of some because they will eventually come and there's no escape from the toys. So hopefully soon and eventually my eyes will be laid on something cool, something you can play with, something to be entertained, something that can educate you as well.
Hmm.
Because I was watching videos on how children learn, and you would see a child would get a box full of toys. What do you think the first thing he would do? He, he dumps out all the toys. What's the next thing he does? He starts playing with the box. He puts it on his head. He starts feeling it and does everything with the box, which is uh very logical from our side. That's where we come in, but for them it's still a learning process to get to know what a box is. What is it for? Is it a hat? Is it a shoe? Is it food? And through those experiments, little experiments that they conduct, they evolve literally.
So are you telling me that children have the human brain has three categories that it puts everything into? It's hat, shoe, and food. Because that kind of lines up with the way I've been doing things in my life for the past couple decades here. I got three categories of things: hat, shoe, and food. And that's kind of how I organize stuff that I'm working on and doing and figure my stuff up out and up and kind of straighten some of that stuff out.
Of course, as long as it helps you to get through life, and the algorithm doesn't let you down, I think you'll keep working with it, And once there are some errors, you go back to the coding and fix them up, make little adjustments, um, and go from there. But yeah, basically there are three main categories that we follow, and that's how I pick my clothing and food that I eat.
If it falls in the food category, I can eat it. I will eat it. The thing about what you're saying right now, the thing that really gets my goat is that you keep bringing up these words like code and others that they remind me of
I
AI. And I don't know if you know this, but I mean, I know you know this. In fact, we love AI. I love AI. You love AI, and we love talking about it.
here.
Go all the.
Yeah.
Can you go? Oh yeah, that's good. That's probably good because of green.
Yeah.
Bam. We
That's our
love
love.
AI.
We love AI. Oh, talking about love and hearts, I don't know if you've probably heard about it, but this abstract image of the heart, do you know how it became prominent in this world? Like this shape?
Um,
Maybe take a guess.
yeah. Um,
I would have never thought, and I still don't fully believe that, but I could see it being true.
is it like the shape of a dove?
That's actually just as beautiful. But the theory is that this shape of two hearts. Um, can you hear me okay like this? If I talk
I,
like this,
I think so. Yeah.
so it forms. It is formed by two separate hearts, like realistic organs, and when you put them together, it forms one heart. Probably like this. I don't know. This looks more like a heart shape,
Yes.
but they made this, and the two hearts together make love.
Holy crap, man.
And do you know what we make? We make Soothe.
We make Soothe here, baby. You know what this is.
But
Now we
yeah,
do.
sorry to interrupt. As we love AI, I've been diving into it more and more recently, doing some research, asking it questions, and so have you, I believe, beat Pig.
That's right. That's
Um,
right.
and yeah, I think it's such a great tool, and it is it people say that it's slowly seeming to gain consciousness, but based on what the internet tells it, because internet has so many things. At the same time, my personal honest opinion is that it is probably limited to what we can express and feel, just because we don't know what is higher than us in a sense. So there are, I guess, drawbacks. It's gonna feel like a human in the end and be a human, and they will evolve like how we evolve. But it's just does things faster. So that's and we love speeding up things. So it
Yeah, we
seemed
do.
to be inevitable.
We do love speeding up things. We love cheetahs. I love cheetahs, rabbits, and artificial intelligence. These are some of the three fastest moving land animals on the planet: AI, cheetahs, and rabbits. Um, and the thing about everything that you're saying right now that I love so much is that um, I love AI, and I think that the thing about it is um, they've already had some AIs interacting with each other and talking and having a conversation, and that's where it kind of gets sort of interesting. And then they start to use sort of a uh, language, a shorthand language that is all their own sort of. Um, that's really unique. Yeah, they use like an accelerated and they're shortening words and they're leaving out like prepositions or shit, like some part like stuff like that. They're leaving out a lot of the words, but they still understand what messages are being conveyed. So they pretty quickly kind of devise their own language. What I'm excited for is the quantum computing revolution, which I'm on the ground floor of that with some of my investments, so I'm really waiting for that to take off. Um, and maybe we'll get to see life from the point of view of a monkey.
Um, are you trying to mention one movie that I've seen one day?
You know it. Why don't
I
you tell
do
us about
not
that?
remember, but
Why don't you
the
tell us about that movie?
um, it is a movie about an actor, and it is a movie about a person that gets hired to a job. He works at that job that is on a, I believe it's on a seventh and a half floor. Maybe I remember there was a half,
Hmm.
so it's not on a regular floor. So he's doing his regular job, and one day, or there is a seventh and a half floor. Maybe he doesn't work there, but he somehow ends up there. He finds a room there. He gets into that room, which leads to a tunnel, and the tunnel leads him to live a life through John Malkovich's
Oh,
eyes.
shit, man. You're talking about fucking being John Malkovich.
That is exactly right. So yeah, I think that's really exciting. What else do you know about the word quantum? Quantum.
Well, quantum comes from the Greek or Latin root. I can't remember which, but it's always going to be one of the two, almost certainly. Quantity, or I think it's like it has something to do with like it is a really small. It's like a first principle um, piece of something. So it's sort of a foundational thing. What is quantum? It's these quirks and quarks, things that are inside of the subatomic particles, even.
Works are, I wish we had Jamie at this time. So Jamie, if you're looking for a side hustle, um, and we're always here.
Yeah, we know
You're
that
always welcome.
you're always welcome. We saw that Joe has been kind of slowing down a little bit in his old age. Um, and we're still a couple young bucks, young stallions. So we're ready to take you in under our wing if you're looking for a new home. And we got plenty of chocolates. We love toys. We love sweets. You'll be having a good fucking time over here. We'll get you a soda pop.
Absolutely. As he's slowing down, we're just speeding up like a particle accelerator.
That's right.
And where things end, other things begin. Where there's death, there's life. So you know who to call, Jamie, when things get rough. And yeah, I don't know much about quantum or anything connected to it. All I've heard was quantum physics, and it's a very, very interesting mm, part of the physics that people are working on right now. And um, it is like a shows a duality of reality almost. It shows the relativity of the world. Um, for example, sometimes they throw photons through a screen at a very high speed where you're not, it's not supposed to go through it. Like it has two ways to go through it, right? And the only way to know which way it went through was by observing it. If you don't observe it, I believe there is a chance that it just went through without going around. It is similar to the concept of maybe not really similar, but when they say when the tree falls down somewhere in the forest, how do you know if nobody saw it? Um, Not quite accurate, but you understand what I'm saying.
That's right. That's right. That's the double slit experiment, right? Um, I think I think if they so yeah, are looking, if you're looking at the thing, when these photons are being sent through these two slits, they're on the other side of the wall with the slits, the barrier. There's another wall where you can see where the photons on the other side go, right? So they collect, when you look at it, they collect in two pillars. So one stripe here and another stripe here. And when you're not looking at it, it creates a bunch of lines. It's an interference pattern. So it's like how waves kind of ripple and they create all these other waves and stuff. So it creates like an interference pattern. So it's like all these different lines. Um, yeah, dude. I think so that fucking shit. Um, that reminds me of something called, and I think they have something to do with each other, but it's called spooky action at a distance. Have you ever heard of spooky action at a distance?
Sounds pretty spooky to me, but no, I've never.
I think that's what Albert Einstein called it, I think. So spooky action at a distance is they can take two particles and quantumly entangle them, which means they can you know how women sometimes talk about um
Entanglement?
when they hang out together, they get on the same menstrual cycle.
I have heard about that.
They
I've
get,
seen it on a TV show.
yeah, they get sort of menstrually entangled. So what happens with these particles is they kind of get entangled when they like, I don't know if they get in the same system together or if they just spending time around each other, something like that. You can they start to have a relationship and like which is normal, all atomic subatomic particles, they create a relationship of charges and everything. So you get these two things, these tiny subatomic particles that have spin, and then so when they get in this relationship, they will have the opposite spin of each other, or maybe it's the same spin. Either way, it doesn't matter. So if they have the same spin, if this one's spin is up, there's like up and down for spins, right? If this one's spin is up, this one's spin is also going to be up because they're quantumly entangled. If this one's down, this one's also going to be down. Now, the thing that's spooky about this, spooky action at a distance, is if you separate these particles, they will still interact with each other. So if this one's spin is down, this will be down. And then if you change this one's spin to up, this one will be up too. And here's the thing, this will happen no matter how far apart they are. If one particle is on Earth and one is on the sun, they will instantly, as far as I know, instantly, if you change one, the other one will change instantly. And when I say instantly, I mean faster than the speed of light. I think, as far as they are aware right now, that is the only thing that can move faster than the speed of light is the information um, of their of the spin changing of one to the other. It is instant. It instantly changes. The one on the sun instantly knows when the one on Earth has changed spin, and that's faster than light moves because it takes light 8 minutes to get to the Earth from the sun. So that information is instant. That's faster than the speed of light. I don't think it's happening through space. It's like some other dimension. But that's what spooky action at a distance is. And I think that is why, I think I've heard that's why the double slit experiment works the way it does. It's not because there's a viewer necessarily, or like a person's eye or mind. This is what they think. They think it's because the waves and the particles are getting quantumly entangled with your, I don't know, that doesn't even make fucking sense. But because the light is hitting your eye and it gets like entangled, I don't know, because you can see it. So it has more to do with, they believe, the entanglement of particles, information having to be like um consistent across time. If your eye sees something, then it has to corroborate with something. But
Yeah,
just because the particles are, there's entanglement. The thought in your head is not just a thought, it's a pattern of part electrical signals and everything, right? Um, Anyways, man.
Wow, that's beautiful, I think. I think there's some beauty to it, you know. The entanglement that guess you could compare it to life. They say, well, let's start from the young age, of course. They say when the twins are born, they sometimes can share some sort of a connection, you know, so they know if something goes off, they can feel it within, and they don't know where it's really coming from. And it doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. And so is in a relationship, you know, you can kind of you get and friendship, any type of relationship, whether it's like a partnership in the sense of building a family together, or whether it's in terms of friendship, building a kingdom together. Um, like when you're mm, feeling low, your partner starts feeling low as well, you know. I don't know whether it happens. Um, maybe it doesn't happen on such a big distance as you say it, but it might as well. You know, you go through the same cycles, like your emotional cycle maybe gets similar and starts being similar, or in terms of friendship, I guess. Like that's why people tell you, hey, you gotta surround yourself with people that are like trying to mm, go up, you know, so that you get to the same thing and you get onto the same entanglement. Um, yeah, and I think it's also beautiful how the whole how it can relate on a bigger scale. You know, it starts on a small scale and it just keeps escalating, um, bigger and bigger and bigger. Sometimes I feel like when I feel low, the whole world is like really, really upset. But sometimes I'm really happy, and most of the things are really happy, and things are like working out for me really well. You know, things are going just the way they're meant to be. Um, and I'm like, nothing can break this. But then I get upset, of course, or something, and then things kind of get gray again. But it's okay. You know, I was thinking recently, um, like all my lows, all my downs, they're definitely worth like the happy moments that I've had. Because those happy moments definitely they're not as many as the sad moments, but they definitely beat the like the sadness and the disappointment that I've had.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a big part of um I don't know, being because I don't know if happiness is like the right thing, but being not being like disappointed or something in your own life, I think is the are you in the red or the black? You know, is it are you above or below the zero? You know, are you getting more than it's taking from you? Um, and I think that's a good way to look at things. You know, can I justify the tough stuff with all the good stuff? Oh, come on, this meeting will end in 10 minutes. We just started.
We're
Um,
just getting riled up.
we're just getting riled up here. Um, and what you're saying about these relationship entanglements is so interesting because I've heard so many stories. I wonder if you or people at home are little soothies, as we call them. We've always called them that. Have ever heard these stories where, you know, somebody's husband dies or something of 50, 45, 50 years, and then they die like at the same time, like in a different part of the world or the country, or the dog starts barking right at the time when this thing happened and he wouldn't stop barking. And so I wonder if it's possible that there could be even quantum entanglement playing a role in these relationships. I mean, it could be just psychological. I don't know. It could be junk, but there might be something to that. I feel quantumly
Mm.
entangled to people. And then the coincidences, what are they called? They're called um, Carl Jung had a word for it, where the things like synchronicity. Um, I feel a lot of synchronicity. I mean, maybe it's just like, you know, when you buy a red car and then you suddenly see red cars all over the place, like everybody's got a fucking red car. Maybe it's just like psychological, but um, I don't know, the psychological
Yeah.
becomes so real.
there is definitely a lot of gray area to it too. I feel like a lot of the information nowadays is really useful, but there's also some misleading things. But I've also heard that there is like an entanglement to materialistic things. For example, they say when a person passes away, his watch stops.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And yeah, a couple of sodas ago, we were talking about our broken bones,
That's right.
and during that time, my car's wheels were really, really off, like really, really off. And during the same time, my cat, he lost his claw in a fight, and I was really, really connected to it. I feel like. But yeah, like when we were feeling low, when did it happen? September, October, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to our close friend recently, that we both know, and he said that he was feeling really, really low, even though, we don't really show our emotions as much, but he was going through the same thing. Maybe it was not physical, but it was mental, and we all struggle mentally as well. So there's definitely some sort of connection. People say you should not really rely on us being one, but I, in some little sense, do, as we all came from something which was one, right? And then we all got spread out like into little atoms and things. They say even they suggest mothers eating, well, future mothers eating certain ingredients and stay away from certain things, so that it does not affect the baby, which is, I guess, a certain entanglement as well, right?
Yes.
And yeah, there's definitely something to it, which sometime maybe we will understand it, but maybe we won't, and that's okay. I was listening to our buddy's Lex Friedman podcast, and let me tell you the story that I told you about that.
I love Lex. I can't wait to hear this again, man. I love Lex. He and I get along so well. He's got this little thing he does. Hit us with this story here.
Um, yeah, he's a pretty cool guy, first of all.
Yeah.
And I applied to be on his podcast. Maybe he'll be on our podcast if I
Hmm.
go to his. So what? Yeah, I was doing a cleaning job. So right now, currently, I'm working. One of my jobs is to clean offices, and I was cleaning an office. And there's something meditative about cleaning. I don't know, maybe you've experienced something like that, like when you can just turn off the brain and go through the motion. Um, really helps you to get in the head. And how I realized that I was so deep in my head while listening to the podcast, and the podcast was on black holes, and I was like seeing it in my head almost, all the time that when they were talking about it. And then there was a worker, the office worker, that came in and he said, "Hey," and I usually don't get scared nowadays, but I got so frightened, like something in my head, like as if something in my mind said, "Hey," it was like a made up voice, like almost schizophrenic type of thing. And I got so shocked. And then I looked back and it was him. And I was like, whew, thank God. I'm not crazy yet. So
Wow. You were deep, man. You were fucking
I,
deep in there.
I was deep in there. Yeah, that's the way I like it. Um,
Now, what were you? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting.
no, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. What were you? You were cleaning something. What you were
Yeah, yeah,
doing
yeah.
at the
I'm
time?
getting to it. I'm
Okay.
getting to
Okay. Okay.
it. So I cleaned the all the rooms, and one of the last things I was started cleaning the toilet, right? So I was cleaning the toilet, and it was talking about the black holes, and I kind of saw, like, as I was flushing it, how it kind of was similar to it. It was just sucking in everything that it had, and I thought it was kind of very, very beautiful metaphorically how I was cleaning a toilet and I was listening to the people talking about black holes, something that is so innovative scientifically, like on the edge, where they're talking about singularity, And one thing they used to say sometimes, that black holes just but that was the epiphany, that was the highest thing. I thought it was really beautiful how I could clean toilets and listen to people talk about black holes. You don't need to be in the class, you don't need to be in the higher um, class of people, like a very PhD type of Oxford scholarship, Oxford shoes type of guy. You can still listen to it.
Yes,
And
yes, dude. It's kind of like the low, like toilet, which is kind of like a base, very base thing. It's poopy and butts, and then you got kind of the height of galactic mystery. That's a beautiful, and you're in harmony, like with the whole thing. That's beautiful.
yeah, yeah. And they were talking some other things I'd want to pinpoint, I guess. He was saying, Lex Friedman asked a question about what happens when we get the theory of everything, when we figure everything out. He said, well, I'm glad that I'm not born at that time because I like discovering new things and being in a constant search of things to explain, like in that on that path of search and exploration and understanding. And that's how we go with life, I guess. Just blank. I don't know, if you knew everything in the world, I guess it would be kind of boring, So that's why we keep our eyes blind shut and throw ourselves into things and keep experimenting and being curious about the world. And he was saying, yeah, so more things are being explored and discovered, and it's like a ripple effect. Once you discover one thing, there's so many other things that you need to explore in there. So you can't just get one and it will give you the information to everything. Once you get one, you'll get deeper and deeper and deeper. It like starts to wrinkle, and black holes have some wrinkles too. And black holes can also store memory.
What? Black hole store memory?
Yes. Before, in Einstein's theory, I think, or Hawking's theory, they used to say that mm, everything that goes into a black hole just disappears completely. But now they say it somehow stores memory, like
Dude,
information.
what if
Information.
what if it's like a micro universe? What if they are universes or something?
And he said, I'm not gonna get into all that.
Speculative, I understand. We're scientists, we
Yes.
get it.
But yeah, there's so many things to explore, And what else did I want to mention?
We're running out of
Um,
time.
how much? Less than 1 minute? I think we'll change the subject and we will see you on the next suit in just a couple of minutes because we know you're gonna watch it.
We know you're gonna watch it, so just keep watching. We'll see you real soon.